So I can share on my page immediately.
I am live. I am so excited. Today is a beautiful day that the Lord has made. He said we should rejoice and be glad in it. I have a special guest, a wonderful and amazing woman that I am going to be sharing this platform with today. So, everyone, you're welcome to the Real Lillian Show. Thank you all very much for standing by me, watching all the time. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to bring my guests straight away because we have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the show, Miss Biodu. Oh my
Thank
God, I
you
can't believe
very
I'm seeing
much.
your face. Thank you so
Thank you
very
very,
much.
very
It's
much.
nice to have you. So nice to have you. So why I am before I start introducing you, just give me 1 minute to share the link so that people will know that we are live here and be able to join us because I know you have a lot to tell us today, so I just don't want to enjoy this alone. I want other people to join. Thank you so much and welcome again to the show. I really appreciate your presence. It means
Thank
a
you
lot
very
to
much.
me.
How do
All
I
right.
find where we are live so that I can also share it?
Yes, I'm going to share it right now to my other page so that you can see it. And, you know, yeah, I am going to be sharing it right now so you can see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone, thank you. If anybody has started joining us, I appreciate you. I just posted it to my profile page and I can actually send it to your page so that
Yes,
you can
please.
see.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
I can send it to your page so that you can see that also. I think, yeah, I think I just forwarded it to you so that uh, I don't know if you are seeing it there. Did you get it? I just forwarded it to you. Yes. Okay. We're gonna start straight away. Um, all right. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let me know when you are. Welcome to
Yes,
the show. If you're
I'm
just
ready. I'm
joining,
just trying to make sure that everybody knows it started. So
yes, yes,
just give
yes,
me a
yes.
minute.
Join us, join us, join us. I have a special guest all the way from another country, but close by. It's going to be a free flow conversation because there's so much going on, and I want it to be very sweet, very interactive. People are already joining in, saying hello, Lady Biodu. It's going to be a great time.
Hello,
Thank you so
hello,
much, Yemi.
hello. Mama,
You know,
hello.
yeah.
Good to
So it's going to
see
be a
you.
great time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It's going to be an amazing time because we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to learn, and I know people are really going to enjoy the show today. Um, so if you are ready, I'm ready to start the whole
I'm
thing
very ready.
rolling. All
I'm
right. Thank
very
you, Yemi,
ready.
for joining us. We appreciate you. Princess Nwakego, thank you for joining. They are all here
Thank
listening to
you.
us and watching. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everybody that is joining right now, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so, Um, if you're just watching this show for the first time, thank you, everybody. My name is Lillian. Great to be here. Oh, the blessed mama. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate. We are live on YouTube and our Facebook. So anywhere you're joining, we say thank you, and you're very much welcome to the show today. We have an interesting thing. I mean, a lot of things lined up to talk about. So, but before we go on, Miss Biodu, thank you for coming again one more time. Thank you. You are my special guest today. So before I kick off any discussion, I would like people to know you because I know a lot of people are just joining us and they want to know who is this beautiful lady that is right here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay. I start always to introduce myself with what I consider most important about myself. I'm the mother of four wonderful young adults. Um, and then I run an NGO called Satos Dignos Child Rescue Initiative. We take children off the streets in Ibadan. We run a residential program, and now we're just starting a non-residential program. So to work with those who are ready to leave the streets finally, and those who are not yet ready totally. So,
Wow.
um, yeah. My name is Biodun Bangboye. I live in Belgium. I'm half Nigerian from Kwara State. My dad is from Kwara State, was from Kwara State, and my mom is Dutch
Oh,
from
wow.
Holland.
That is so good to know. That is so good to know. We're going to come back to your NGO stuff later, but right now we're going to dive right in straight into some of the hot topics, hot things that we have to talk about here. So we're going to go right straight into it because the series I'm having right now, yes. Yeah. Sorry, please. 1 minute.
No problem.
Yeah. So the series that I'm running this period is really, focused on women and a lot of issues that is going on around us. And that is why I have selected a few people like you to say, let's come and start talking about this thing, creating more awareness so that our women can be empowered and encouraged and know also that they are special and valuable, irrespective of any circumstances. So
True.
it's so passionate to my heart because I see that a lot of women, when some things happen to them, they feel isolated, they feel lonely, and they just think that they can't do much. And I
Yeah.
have seen a lot of women that are thriving and doing so much in the community. And that has encouraged me to say, no, we need to encourage these other women to come on board and say, no, irrespective of your situation or what is happening to you, you can still do a lot.
Yeah.
So now my first question is, as societal norms often emphasize the importance of companionship and relationship, many women feel
Yeah.
societal pressure to pursue romantic relationships or marriage. With that said, what are some ways that women can cultivate happiness and fulfillment while living alone? And how can society work to shift its views and values towards recognizing the validity and value of solo living? Because the reason why I'm asking this question is that they just feel that once a woman is not married or divorced or is a widow, boom, is the end of the woman. But how can we change this now in a nutshell?
Yeah. So you've asked the question in two different ways. First, how does the individual um, live with these demands and find happiness for themselves? And secondly, how do we change society? So I'm seeing
Absolutely.
yes, so
Yes.
I'll start with the person. The first thing is that I like to understand that society is made up of individuals. Society is you, society is me, society is the person next door. That's what society is a combination of what individuals believe. That's what drives what societal norms are. Over time, we notice that societal norms do change.
Yes.
What was acceptable last generation might not be acceptable in this generation. So we
Yes.
know that societal pressure, societal dictates, they do change over time, which is why I like to focus on individuals, you and I. When we bring it down to you and I, we find that the pressure of society is not so high anymore. Um, Previously, I mean, even now in a lot of African societies, the pressure is still there that as a woman approaches a certain age, the pressure is high on getting married. Go and
Mhm.
settle down, as if you can't be settled down if you're unmarried.
Hmm.
That term that is used, have you settled down? Are you not thinking of settling down? Is as if you decide to remain single or if you have not
Yes.
yet married, that you can't be settled. So that's the first, the use of language is one of the ways in which very subtly society has programmed each one of us to feel and to think and even to pressure ourselves, because
Yes.
that's where the societal pressure starts from. If all your
Yes.
uncles, your aunties in the village are pressurizing you on settling down, but you as an individual, you already feel settled in where you are. It's not like you are against marriage, but you're single and you are happily so. there's a way you will respond to them, they will never come near you anymore. You know? So that's the first place to begin, in your mind. Know that the journey that you're on, this life's journey, is yours. This is not a sideshow, it's not a rehearsal. Every day counts, and you have a responsibility to yourself.
Yes.
As much as you have a responsibility to, others whom are close to you, the primary responsibility each one of us as individual has is to ourselves.
Yes.
You have a responsibility to ensure that you are living the life that you can stand boldly before God and say, yes, this life you gave me, I lived it to the full maximum. I didn't live it based on how Uncle ABC is demanding, or I didn't live it based on how this group of people were demanding, but I'm living this life to the best of the ability that
Yes.
I have received as an individual. Our first responsibility is to ourselves. And I think a lot of people don't get that, which is why they try to pamper to, each call, this demand here, that demand here. What will people say? What will people think? What will that person say? What will that person think? If we get the first priority right, the priority is to yourself. Make sure
Yes.
you are happy. Make sure you are doing what makes you feel good. And I use the term feel good in a very I think it's very, when a lot of people hear you need to feel good, you get a lot of negative reaction. Life is not about feeling good. Yes, life is about feeling good. When you're
Yes.
doing something, how good does that thing make you feel inside? Each one of us has a built-in antenna, and it's a feel-good antenna.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't mean that when I say feel good, it's the peace you have when you know you're doing right. There's a deep sense of peace you will feel in your heart when you're doing right. When you're not doing right, you're likely to feel guilt. Guilt is
Mm.
not a good feeling. You're likely to
Absolutely.
feel shame. Shame is not a good
Absolutely.
feeling. Some
Absolutely.
people will try to make you will be doing something that deep inside you makes you feel right. But
Mm-hmm.
people will try to shame you. People will try to guilt you. You need to get to the point where your antenna, that deep antenna that is God given in every one of us, is what guides you, is what holds you. It's that piece, hold on to it. Don't let it go, no matter what other people may say or think about it.
Absolutely.
I, I think that's the primary way that you can cultivate happiness.
Whoa. Wow. That is deep. That is so deep. So, from what you have said, that means that women should not pay attention. I mean, it's not that sometimes we won't pay attention to maybe some things people say, but the pressure should not be
Yes,
their primary focus.
yes.
That is deep.
If you
So now
don't
my next,
pressurize yourself, others can pressurize you.
absolutely, because a lot of people don't realize this, and it sets so much pressure on them. I was reading the other day about a young lady. She's just 29 years old and not married, and she said she wants to, end it all because there's so much, expectation and so many things. And she's wondering, why are people not, nobody's coming to her to say, let's settle down, let's not settle down. I'm like, seriously? No, you can't. So I really like what you have explained there. So let's go to the second question, because a lot of women don't realize what is inside of them. They don't realize that, So let's go to the next question. In many culture, I know this is a little bit deep also now, this is a little bit deep. Divorce, especially in the African community, is like a big stigma, particularly for women. When the men divorce, there's no issue, there's no problem. It's all well and good, it's all sweet. Thank you, everyone that are joining. I deeply, deeply appreciate my community. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I know today is a special day for us. Thank you for joining. So it's is like a big stigma, particularly for women.
Yeah.
When men divorce or men cheat, you got a problem, you know? So why do you think this is a case or this is a problem? And what impact does this stigma have on women who are going through divorce or who are contemplating? Because there are a lot of people who want to divorce, but they don't want to divorce because of what society will say.
Yeah.
So how do we destigmatize
Ooh.
this whole thing so that women can feel comfortable to say, I am not happy in this place. I need to leave to start my life?
There are a lot of issues packed into into that stigmatization of divorce. I'm divorced, and I remember that until I became known as, until my stand on divorce became really known, thanks to Facebook. Um, there were a lot of people who would call and ask me, how is uncle, how is daddy, how's your husband? And I was very bold to say, oh, I'm not married, I'm divorced.
Yes.
I didn't even just say I'm not married or anything. I would say it, I'm divorced. And the reaction always, in the initial stage, the reaction would be, oh no, I'm so sorry. God will bring him back. And I would look at them with shock, like, huh? Excuse me? No, 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 no. Certainly not. If anything brings him back, it's definitely not God. You know, I filed for divorce. I filed for divorce, and it was a decision I made for my own well-being,
Yeah.
and so on. And I have a stepbrother in Nigeria, my eldest brother from my dad. And when we went home for my dad's funeral, he was really mingling with my ex-in-laws so much.
Wow.
And some of his friends who came to visit, he was introducing me to them as Mrs. This. 2 times I stopped him. I said, stop it. My name is Biodun Bangboye. I'm not married. I'm divorced. And he would tell me, stop it. Don't say that again. I said, why not? You want me to tell a lie because it makes you feel good? What's my
Yes.
business with you? My responsibility is to make me feel good, not you. I don't really
Yes.
give a damn how you feel. And he called me back to it. Piotr, I mean well for you. I don't know. I mean, you're a respectable person. I don't want people to look down on you. I said, I don't give a damn whether people look down on me or not. I came here to bury my dad. I didn't come here to, fuel one person's idea of me, and that's one of the ways in which, society stigmatizes divorce. That the way how people already create a false idea of, sorry, I think you went off.
No, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm hearing
All right.
everything.
the
Yes.
the false sense of importance
Yes.
that society gives women, and you hear it everywhere. In church, you will hear them tell women, women, you are the foundation of the home. Yeah, women, you are the prayer warriors of the home. You are the anchor of the home. If you don't do this, the home will not this. The home, it is a false. Let me just tell all women now. When you hear that thing, don't let your head swell. They are setting you up for a lot of problems. It's
Yeah.
setting you up for damage that you
Yeah.
won't be able to handle. Because if anything happens in the marriage, and that is what you see, if anything happens in the marriage, when the man starts cheating, it is the woman. You are the anchor of the home. If you don't, maybe you are not praying well for him. Maybe you are not cooking well for him. Yeah, women are created in the semblance of God. Women are stronger than men. It is a lie. Please, when you hear people hailing you and they are telling you all that in women's conferences in church, tell them no, we are human.
Yes.
A woman is first primarily a human being. I'm sorry, just give me 1 minute.
That's fine.
Um I didn't realize that I was working on a almost dead phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I apologize for the technical hitch.
No, that's
Hello?
yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All
We
right.
can hear you. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, so that is one of the first things society does. And that this happens right from childhood. So you are made to feel like you are one heavenly being who cannot make a mistake. You are one, and so on and so forth. And you get to believe it.
Yeah.
So when you're into a marriage that you know that you've gone wrong in this marriage.
Yeah.
All that programming that you are superhuman, that the success of the marriage resides with you, the woman, and so on. If it begins to work, and you yourself begin to attack yourself when you begin to think of divorce.
Yes.
You begin to think, oh, for God's sake, I failed. Yeah, some women almost kill themselves. Some women would rather die in a bad marriage than go for it and than file for divorce. Some women will tell you, I've spoken to women who will tell you, I know he's trying to push me to divorce, but God forbid, it won't be me in this life. I said, why won't it be you to do the right thing?
I'm sorry, Miss Beardo. I'm going to let you continue. I just want to let our viewers know that we are not here encouraging divorce. We are only saying the truth about what the circle is, the stigma it brings to women, and the fear, and that leaves a lot of women sometimes losing their lives. So continue. I just wanted to
actually I encourage divorce.
Yeah, okay.
I will say it very boldly. I encourage divorce because nobody will divorce in a good marriage.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Okay, good. That is just to clear what we are saying. We're not saying get out of your home.
You don't just. There was a post I made on Facebook some years ago about divorce. I said, look, a lot of people, present divorce as if you just wake up one morning. People just wake up one morning and say, oh, I'm going to get a divorce. The reason why that thing is a fallacy is because of how difficult it is to get a divorce, even in the Western world. Divorce is not something you wake up one morning and say, oh, see how he's eating. I don't like the way he or she is talking. I'm getting a divorce. No. Yes. The legal, all the safeguards, marriage is considered wholesome, supposed to be wholesome. So it's protected in every single society I've seen. Okay. You can't just wake up one morning and file for divorce. It costs more in many cases than getting married.
Yes, it does. Yes.
It's more expensive financially. It's not a decision people take lightly. So when you see somebody who has decided to file for divorce, just know that a lot of thought has gone into it. Stop assuming that the person woke up one morning and suddenly decided, oh, today is a good day to get divorced. It's not true. That's the second fallacy that a lot of that surrounds the concept of divorce and why a lot of people have stigmatized it.
Exactly.
This opinion that nowadays women are not ready to bear with this. Just small offense, you wake up and you say you are divorced. It's a lie. That is another way a lot of people are made to feel bad when they feel divorce is the answer. There's a scripture in the Bible. Jesus said, when I think people came to ask him about divorce and told him, like, in the Mosaic law, there's a certain condition for getting divorced from a woman, and Jesus made it clear that this is not God's ideal plan.
Yes.
God's ideal plan is that people remain married, but in the case of infidelity, that a man and a woman can get divorced. In other words, divorce is actually recognized by God as a way out. The Bible says that there is no difficulty that has encountered man that God has not provided a way out. Divorce is a way out.
Wow. Yeah. Especially when it involves someone's life being at risk.
Look, there is no marriage that is sweet, that somebody will wake up in the morning and say, God, I'm in a very loving marriage, I must get divorced.
Yes.
It doesn't happen. Before a woman, I'm not talking of a man, before a woman decides I'm getting divorced, just know that her life, her sanity are already at stake.
Yes.
And when life and sanity are at stake, just know, because the stigmatization of the society against divorced women is such that it is a difficult decision to embark on for most women. So when you see a woman, just begin to work from the assumption that that woman has a good reason. Don't,
Exactly.
that's the first thing to realize. And that's what I hope other people will understand, that when you see a woman who has taken it upon herself to go and file for divorce herself, know that she has, start from that assumption. She has a good reason. When you
Okay.
start from that assumption, you begin to understand that to attack her is not the first way out.
Good.
To begin to give unsolicited advice of, madam, have you tried? You know, you can pray. There's nothing prayer cannot change. We have cases of gospel artists who have died from in bad marriages
Yes.
recently in Nigeria. So it's
Yes.
not that she couldn't pray. She had bishops. She had everything that you could pray. She was in an abusive marriage and she should have left.
Thank
So
you.
that I hope that kind
Yes.
of covers
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you have even actually covered one of the questions I was going to ask again, because it's a lot of struggle for a lot of women. And I I just in my heart that I want to bring this clearance. And you said something that is really so, so strong, that nobody who has a good marriage, no marriage is perfect, absolutely. But nobody who has a good marriage, let's even say 60% or 50%, that will just wake up one day and say, I want to separate from this person, So that stigma that our people, especially our people, when they now hear that somebody is divorced, oh my God, you've committed one whole hell of a sin, and people begin to isolate from the person. They don't want to go to the person. Is truly, truly wrong. Whether one is divorced, whether one is widowed, whether one is separated or not married as a big girl, they are entitled to all forms of respect that everybody is entitled to, and
Yeah.
they're entitled to their happiness. And trust me, a lot of these women are doing very, very good for themselves, which is
Yes.
really, really good. So you kind of answered some questions that I have there, but I'm going to ask another one here. So because I think you talked about some of the challenges that people face, but as a single mother, or as somebody who is divorced, or even as a widower, what are some of the challenges that they face, and how can they overcome these challenges to build a fulfilling life? And also, how can they, anyway, maybe I'll ask that one separately, because how can they now attract people again to go into relationship? If you want to tie them together, that's fine.
Okay, the first one is, what are the challenges faced?
Yes, the challenge.
Loneliness is a challenge that can't be underestimated. And when I say loneliness, I don't mean having people around you, but having somebody you can talk to, having somebody you can say, like if you're in a marriage or in a worthwhile relationship with
Yes,
emphasis in the worthwhile, you plan together, you talk together, and so on. And when you're alone, especially if you're raising children, raising children with two people, two committed parents is already tough enough. When you're
yes,
raising children on your own, either you are divorced, you are not co-parenting with somebody who's concerned and so on, it can be really tough. Sometimes you just need
yes,
somebody to talk to, and you don't
absolutely.
have that with you. If you don't have a family, and your own family that is supportive, that can be really, really frustrating. I say that even when I was married, I was a single parent because I was parenting my children alone, even though we were married, and I was lonely in the marriage. So for me, it was one of the things I considered before I, filed for divorce. Like people asked me, those I spoke to asked me, won't you be lonely? I said, look, right now I'm lonely. It's better for me to be lonely on my own than to be lonely in a marriage in brackets.
I don't mean to put some words into your mouth. Can you expatiate a little bit? Because some people might be in this situation and they don't even realize it. Can you expatiate a little bit on that word? Being lonely in marriage. Ooh, that is huge. That's like a topic on its own. So, how can somebody be lonely in a marriage? Because some people might be in it and they don't recognize it.
Yeah. Well, you're lonely in a marriage. For instance, let's talk about child upbringing. You go to all your child's school events
Activities.
on
Yeah.
your own. The school calls needs to see a parent. You discuss it with your husband. The husband tells you, please, 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 I'm busy. Handle it. You handle it. Financially, sometimes some men will give money and that's all you see. In some cases, financially, you are running the show. A lot of women handle things financially in the home and cover up for the men. You know that you are the one paying the bills. You know that you're the one
Mm.
carrying the burden, financial burden, but you are putting up this front that I mean, in my case, I would even buy presents, remind this man that look, it's this child's birthday, and so what should we get for this child? Will you? This is what I'm thinking. Should we? Will you get it? And he tells you that's not his business. Look, but
Mm.
you buy it and you still tell the child it's from mommy and daddy. You still try and you are doing everything on you yourself, you know, you are doing everything on you. Everything the man is doing, you are not aware of it. You are not his friend. You are not his
Mm.
partner. You are just a wife. In his mind, a wife is somebody who stays at home, keeps her mouth shut, and takes care of the children and is ready for sex and cooks his food.
Oh.
You are just that. You know you are feeling lonely. You don't have a friendship, a friend in the person you are married to. You don't have a partner in the person you are married to. My friend, you are alone. You are a single parent.
Ooh, that's huge. Hmm. So,
So
but
in my case,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I knew I was a single parent. I've been a single parent. I was a single parent for a lot of my married life. So I decided the headache of trying to get somebody who was obviously not interested involved in parenting and in doing this marriage thing was wearing me out.
Hmm.
In fact, it wore me out totally. Um, so that's one of the biggest challenges, that loneliness.
Oh,
And
wow.
that can spiral into a lot of things. It can spiral into depression if it
Yes.
is not well managed. And a depressed parent is a sad parent. And it's
Hmm.
also a sad example of a parent because you are jittery at everything, you are shouting at the children. Children will always misbehave. It's not everything we need to scream and shout and everything. You can find moments in that misbehavior to give life lessons. You are
Hmm.
jittery, you are always in a bad mood, you take it out on the kids, you come home, you get involved with just the daily activities of living, and you don't enjoy your children.
Oh.
That's for me one of the massive challenges that many people don't talk about, and that I look back on and I wish I could do it again.
Hmm.
Because
Exactly.
I was so concerned about one thing that bothered me so much then was that my children would turn out good, that nobody would be able to look at me and say, oh, it's because you left your marriage that your children are doing this, or your children are not doing that, or your children are that. That I put a pressure on myself
Hmm.
to perform to a certain gallery,
Hmm.
very unsupportive gallery. And I didn't get to enjoy my children. I almost made my children my enemy. Small thing they will do. Ha! People should not disgrace me. Oh, people should not do this. Oh, don't come and do this. And so on and so forth. And I didn't take the time. Of course, it's not like it was all bad moments, but those are things I look back on and wish if I'd been able to, you know, think in this way that I think now, I
Yes.
would have been a better parent to my children.
Hmm.
So that's the second challenge. The other challenge is finances and work. When you're a single parent, especially of when your children are still at a certain age, the demands for your attention is heavy, and there are certain jobs you can't take on.
Hmm.
If I'd had the benefit of, the advantage of social media the way we have it now, and the opportunities to make money online the way we have it now, I would have opted for that a lot. But having to go to work a 9 to 5, there were some times I would get called from my kids' school. There's this happening, and I worked quite far from school. I have to be looking for excuses to, it was tough. Or a child is sick and you know that you have a very serious meeting in the office on that
Oh,
day, and you have to, those nitty gritty. There are certain things that if you are two parents, one of you would, could balance
yes.
work and say, okay, today I can take the day off, or we can quickly find this solution. But when you're alone, you're alone.
It's hard.
Yes,
It's hard.
it is. It is hard.
Mm.
So
Oh,
those are the practical challenges, challenges of finance. I remember how I struggled to do this, do this, do this, do this. This child has to pay this child has to pay that. And it's not everybody that has child support.
yes.
You will be running a home. Normally, let's say in my case, it should have been a two-income home, but even at that time, I was running most of it. So running a full home financially, and then um, the little support you should be getting, you don't get it. However, on the other hand, the advantage for me of the divorce was that in this case, it was now known that I was running everything financially. Before, I live in Europe. Europe is a socialist, in a socialist society. So it's there's a bit of support from the government. When you're
Yes.
married, you are seen as married, and you are considered a two-person household. So
Mm-hmm.
financially, you
Yes.
don't get support from the government. But in my case, it was an advantage because when I was divorced, the truth, it was just as it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now a single parent. If there's any support I need from the government, I can get it.
Yes.
So, in that sense, but still, I think it's just the um, nitty gritty of handling child needs with every other household need. Those
Hmm.
are the biggest challenges in.
Thank you so much. We have a lot to talk about, so keep staying tuned. We have people, my community, give me my community that is there. So thank you so much, all of you that are watching, because I really sent this thing out today and say, you know what? We have a lot to learn here today, and I know that a lot of people are benefiting already. Before I go into asking you about strategies, and we go into some of the things that you do up close, there's a question here that somebody has asked, and I'd like us to take it. This is from Mr. Daniel Amodiolo. He says, sincerely speaking, is there anything like fulfilling life for a divorced man or woman? Most of the women calling for divorce are already either are having children or are stupendously wealthy. What is your take on these issues, madam? So, some of I know there's a case that is trending right now. So, when women call for divorce,
I
like
think
this,
you have to understand that this gentleman asking questions, I need to explain first, why do women call for divorce?
go
Is the
ahead.
first question you should be asking. Why do women call for divorce? It's not so much what state they are in. The reason that you see women who are wealthy calling for divorce is because they have the finances to demand for the kind of life they desire. The reason why many women will call for divorce is not because that's what I started with. Probably you were not there at the beginning of the session. Before a woman will call for divorce, given the kind of opinion a lot of people have on women who call for divorce, you have to understand that she's coming from a place of pain.
Yeah.
A woman who is calling for divorce is normally calling for divorce either because she's living with a man who is constantly cheating on her, who is constantly abusing her, either verbally, emotionally, physically, or mentally, or she is frustrated in that home and she cannot find a place for growth. In other words, her sanity, her livelihood, and her life are threatened, or her
Yes.
child is being threatened. There are cases where the man is abusing the child in such a way that the woman cannot take, and she decides no. And a
Yes.
lot of people will say about their father. I know of cases where this man was sexually molesting his children from a very young age. He had three
Mhm.
daughters, and the mother was aware of it, and she refused to leave the man because now she can't divorce, and they were Christians, in also with a position in the church. It wasn't until the eldest child saw that the father was going to start on the third daughter, that she made a lot of noise. She scattered the home, the eldest child, and the woman remained in that marriage. There are a lot of women who actually they actually go to the length and divorce their husbands. Everything on the outside looks good, but the woman knows that her children, the life of her children, the safety of her children are at risk, and she takes off. So, is there anything like fulfilling life for a divorced man or woman? The answer is yes. Before a man and a woman would, or a woman would decide to go for a divorce, know that the marriage they are in is hell on earth. They would rather live alone on their own. Anything outside of that is already fulfilling. Having peace of mind is already a fulfillment. There's a friend of mine who recently got divorced. It took her more than 6 years to take the decision. Left to me, I stopped talking to her. She will come to me, for counseling. And at a point, I told her, stop, don't bother coming to me again, because you're not ready to take action that is necessary. And she stopped talking to me. The next thing I would hear, she had filed for divorce. It wasn't only because I was talking to her, but because she knew that she couldn't live life that way. Now, when she calls me, she told me, if only I had known that it's possible to have peace of mind like this, I should have done this thing long ago. The man was not only cheating on her, he has gone to Nigeria, he has married a second wife, put the second wife in the house they built together.
Ooh.
She's the second wife is now managing the property, the business the man used to run, that was supposed to be for both of them. On top of that, he beats her. And all her salary, since she came to Europe, she doesn't have access to her own salary. And they've been married for over 19 years. But outsiders don't know this. So they see a strong marriage. They see a fake facade of something that is good, and they think, so a lot of people thought, why is she leaving this kind of man? Such a good man, such a fervent man. Now she has peace of mind, she has rest of mind. Every money she makes from the work she's doing is as if she has suddenly become a millionaire, because she has control over the income that she's making on her own, and she can do things for her parents, which she couldn't do before. So that is fulfillment on its own.
But sorry to interrupt you a little bit. Let me just chip in this thing. These problems that women are encountering from some of these men, do you think there was not enough counseling before the marriage, or what do you think really happened to these men? Because I want to believe that before the marriage, when they were cutting, everything was going rosy, everybody liked each other, because nobody just married a monster. There was this love, there was this happiness. So what do we really think changed with the men? Is it that they got distracted, or their motives were wrong, or they just didn't get a proper family upbringing to kind of...
So maybe a combination of everything, because honestly, I don't know. But let me make it clear that it's not only, this abuse is not only gender specific. It's just that it happens more. Women are more victims than men, but also there are men in nasty marriages also. And they also feel that pressure not to leave. They also, their own kind of pressure is different. Like, how dare you come out and say it's a woman molesting you or a woman abusing you? How shameful is that? What kind of man are you? Useless man, woman rapper, that kind of thing. So they also have their own. That is also, let me make that clear too. And for that kind of man, please run for your life, divorce. I don't even have another sentence to say to that. But it's also, but for the women, it's more with the women, and that is why we talk about it more. I honestly, I don't know. I can't even say. With my own case, I remember writing a poem like, is it that this guy was always like this, that I didn't know? Or because I couldn't understand the change. It was just such a different human being.
Exactly, because that's what I'm asking. Exactly, that's what I'm asking, because this is somebody you know, you've lived with. So what happened? Was it a distraction? Was it sometimes in the African stuff they'll say, is it juju or Satan, or what must have happened?
I have absolutely no, to be honest with you, all I can say is that he put up a good act. Um, the person I married is not the person I divorced. If I'd continued, if the person I married had remained in existence, I would never have needed a divorce
Yes.
because I loved the person I married. We were friends. We could talk for hours on end. I mean, a lot of people used to actually make fun of me, like, I'm so trusting of my husband. I'm so this, I'm so this. I was that kind of my husband every minute thing. We were friends. He was much older than me, and nobody knew the difference because we would gist for hours. We would play. I'm very playful and all that. And when he disappeared, I looked and looked and looked. Where is this man? Because the man I was living with, it seemed like something had taken over the body of the person I thought I was married to. It wasn't. I didn't divorce the same person I married though. The person I married either was never in existence and it was a show put up for me for my benefit, or
Mhm.
something happened somewhere. I have no idea.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. We're going to, before I say, give us some of the strategies that people can use to overcome loneliness, or some of the ways that, they can thrive after this whole process. I want you to tell us about, because of our time, I want you to talk about your child advocacy, because I know that you are into an NGO program and you've been doing a lot. So before we go into you giving us solution to all these things we've talked about, or some strategies that women can use, or even men, like you said, it's not only women who are victims. Sometimes the men are victims. So before we go into some of that solution, I want to talk about your NGO, because I know that you're very passionate about children, about the young adults. Tell us about it, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, that's something I could talk for hours. I'll try and put it in brief.
Yes.
Okay, I work with children off the streets, and that is a difference between there are two categories of children who live on the streets, who are on the streets. They are the children who have left home totally and sleep on the streets of cities, villages, and so on. You find them in garages, you find them in markets, and so on. These are the children we work with, as opposed to children who like come to the streets to hawk, to sell things, or just roam around during the day and they have
Mhm.
somewhere to go back to sleep. So we focus on the children who have nowhere to go at night, who sleep on the streets.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
so
Hmm.
we run a center in Ibadan currently, where we provide shelter for these children, and it's their home. It's not a home for street children, it's their home. And I say it because it is like home to them. That is their home. That is where they know as home. So that's where they eat, they sleep, they go to school. Some of them have to can't go to school and decide to learn a trade instead. But that is everything, and we try to make it fun, because so we don't use the hostel type home, that kind of thing. We try and make it as close to a proper home as possible.
Wow.
Um, so we celebrate the children's birthdays. They are engaged in extra activities apart from school. Chess is something we use very much in the home. Our children been representing Oyo State on the national level for the youth chess championships for the past 5 years.
Oh, wow.
They've represented Nigeria in the chess championship in 2021 in Ghana. So it's one of the things we do, and our children are really doing well. One of my boys has just that's the first of our children who has passed JAMB, passed WAEC. He has passed the post UTME exam for UI, and we're waiting for admission now.
And now these kids, like you said, are kids that you people pick from the street and you
Yes,
try to mold them and put them together
yes,
and begin to give them a better life.
Yes.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm deaf. So my viewers, please hold on, keep watching, tune in, because I'm going to give you guys a website. There is a GoFundMe that lady, Biodu has here that we're going to post. So if you have anything to donate, this is a very good initiative. Before I bring up something to my page, I want to look at it and like, okay, is this thing, because sometimes a lot of people bring in a lot of things and say bring money, bring money. You want to be sure. So I'm telling my viewers, you want to put your money in an NGO program to support things that people are doing. This is one of them. This program is one of them, because I know that Miss Biodu here, she is a very, very respectable woman, and she's doing an amazing work in Ibadan there. And let me tell you, if we have 5 of you, or maybe you even have 5 or 6 locations or 10 locations, Nigeria will begin to change, because there are a lot of people like in Lagos, they don't have where to go sleep. They don't have where to put their head. And these people are intelligent people. So I really, really appreciate what you're doing deep down. Is really an amazing thing. We have a question here. Somebody says, there is always 2 sides to a coin. What do you think you would have done better considering what you know now? Going back again to a relationship discussion that we're talking about. What do you think you would have done differently if, considering what you know now in the relationship?
One of the things I mean, looking back, that I've blamed myself for is accepting a lot of bullshit for too long. Because I thought, okay, I should manage. So when things started getting bad, I was managing. It was one of the things I talked about earlier, that I'd had this programming. I'd actually pastored a church. In fact, I was pastoring a church just at the point when I divorced. So there was this hookup in I had to try. I'm the prayer warrior of the home. I'm the foundation. I'm the this. I'm the that. And there's there's this saying that if you tolerate a wrong 1, 2, 3 times, whoever is giving that wrong begins to feel that you will always tolerate it. And I should have come out. Maybe if I'd come out and said, look, this is happening at this time, this is happening, maybe it would have made things better, quicker. I'm not saying, well, I am saying that I never cheated in my marriage. I never even considered it. Am I perfect? Nobody is. Was I such that I'm not the submissive type. As in, you just push it on the ground and tell me to leak, and I will leak without questioning you. And my ex-husband, he knew who I was before we got married. No, we were compatible. I thought we were compatible. I thought we could agree with each other. Was I cooking for him every time? Somebody actually asked me, Biodun, were you giving him head? Is that why he was? I'm telling you, somebody asked me, are you sure you did everything you could to maintain the home? The answer is no. If all the things you expect me to do was to be a footmat, no, I didn't do everything. Instead, I chose to leave because I wasn't born to be a footmat. So the things I could have done differently were to admit to myself that I was in a wrong marriage, that I was in a bad situation much earlier than I eventually did. It would have saved me and my children a lot of stress. I would have gone far. Now, where I am now is not where I should be. And it's 10 years ago.
Do you know why I'm laughing? A little bit. I think the present day society is, I was sharing yesterday with somebody and I said, I think we're truly in the end time. Before I don't used to believe that even as a Christian, too much of it. But now I think we're really in the end time, because there are a lot of things that people talk about. And I begin to ask myself, something is wrong. Just from what you said now, and the person was asking, were you giving him head? These people are beginning to over exaggerate the S word. You understand?
Yeah.
They are beginning to over exaggerate it, because personally, for hygiene purposes, maybe I'll make that as another topic for another day. I'm bringing people to talk about it, not one person discussion, because it's going to be a lot of hot arguments.
I mean, these are some of the things people ask divorced women.
I don't believe in it. You shouldn't do it as a man, because it's not hygienic.
were you satisfying your husband sexually? Is that why he went out? I don't give a damn if I was satisfying him sexually or not. He shouldn't go out. Was he satisfying me? Does he know? Did I go out?
Exactly.
No. So for me, cheating is a deal breaker. It still
Because
is.
the way people are rating the S word now is like, that is the ultimate thing that people should think about in our African community, instead of thinking about how can we build businesses? How can we help people just like you're doing now? What else can we do? People are beginning to say, do head, lick plate. It's just ridiculous and I'm getting tired of it. It's just terrible. I can't stand it anymore. Somebody said, yeah, let's read a comment. Is this a form of orphanage home in practice? Are you people able to ascertain the genuineness of most of the street children? Most parents disguise their children to benefit from your type of
No,
program.
in this case, like I said, we work with children who live on the streets. The first set of children we went to the garage, we went to a Ojo garage and spoke to the chairperson of the, their garage leader. So it was the garage chairman who actually picked 7 children for us. They escorted the children with our staff to the center we were using then, and we started working with these children. That was our first contact with these children. And then it's part of what we do is to locate the families and then try and build the family relationship again. So we now have to locate the children's families. One of our activities, tracing, we just call it tracing. We have to trace the children's families, let them know that this is where their child is, try and build a relationship, make them come to visit. And we do our own outreaches. We go every year, once a year. At the end of the year, we take parties to the streets of Ibadan. We have like 2 days. We try to do 2 venues each day. We actually cook, we pack provision and things, get a DJ and go to the garage and to the markets where we know the children are, that there are a lot of street children and so on. No, it is not a case of you can disguise your child. Many of them don't even know where they are. We can't find some families. By the time we find the children, maybe they've moved. There's a child that we'll still not be able to trace the family at all. And the child has been with us for over 4 years. Because by the time we went to where he knew, the family had moved.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. That is huge.
So it's like an orphanage home, but it's not an orphanage because many of our children are not orphans. They are children who live on the streets. And the other kind of category of children we pick are siblings of those children that we picked up from the streets, because there are 2 cases where we've picked the siblings of our street children. One of them was had such a bad case of malnutrition. She was 9 years old when she came to the center. She was smaller than the 5-year-old we had with us, who was a sibling of another person. So that is the only kind of exception to the rule that they must be street children, because the sibling of a child who is already on the streets is likely to land on the streets as well.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Now we're going to ask, so what are the strategies? While we round up, what are the strategies that you think people can use to overcome loneliness or just being idle, or pending on when one gets a companion? What are some of the strategies that, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, what can they put in place to, get themselves going?
The first thing I will say is spend time healing. Spend time healing. And healing is not a day's journey. If you have been abused, you are likely going to have certain signs of it. You're going to be dysfunctional in one way or the other, whether you admit it or not. Some of us, we can work from now till tomorrow. Some of you become workaholics and you do nothing else. It's work. The children the children don't have the priority that your work takes. It's not healthy. If you don't have a good work-life balance, it's also unhealthy. Some of us get very temperamental. We're upset over everything. where, every small thing you're sensitive about, you are fighting here, you are fighting there, you are fighting there. Don't be in a hurry to jump into another relationship. Take
Ooh.
time to heal. Take time to heal, and do whatever you need to heal. See a therapist if you need to. There's nothing wrong with it. If you need medication, I needed to be on medication at the time. If you don't, you will break down. And when you break down, you won't like it. I broke down before I knew that I needed healing. So I'm saying this from a place of concern. If you know you've been through hell, please take time to heal. If you need a job, find a job that can allow you space to navigate life with your children and won't put you in a place where you feel guilty. If you need to take a day off to attend to one of your children, where you need to start explaining stories, look for a job like that. You will find there are jobs like that, or look for an online job. Now we have so many options.
So many options.
Yeah, go. I'm into network marketing. I sell a supplement that I believe in very much. Find something you believe in, market it, sell it, do something that can fetch you money, and do something that focuses on you. Go to therapy, find a support network. Don't go into the midst of people that will attack you, for God's sake. If your church is such that they look down on you, find another church. You are not a tree. You are not planted into that place. You're only planted into the body of Christ. You are not planted into one particular church. Find a supportive space and listen. The words you listen to and the words you tell yourself are so critical. Listen to yourself. Listen to how you respond to yourself when you make mistakes. You'll
Yes.
find that many times you're attacking yourself. Begin to listen to words. I found a lot online. I'm so grateful for the internet. I found a lot online that I listen to every day. I found groups I can join. I found a prayer support group that supported me at that period, physically and online, that I could call somebody anytime. Look, this guy's with my kid. This is happening with my child right now, because I had a lot of issues with my ex and the children as well. We would pray together. They were supporting me. Don't, please, I'm begging you. There are people that will support you. There are people that will not support you. Don't be in the midst of people that will not support you. And be very careful, learn to decipher support, because some people will seem to be supporting you when you are in problem. When it seems you are becoming positive and coming out of it, they begin to attack you.
Ooh.
It is not a healthy relationship at all to be in. Find people that are looking for how you will walk out of that place. Don't find people who are happy to hear your sob stories and want to say, hey, yeah, oh my God, oh, you alone, suffering all this suffering, oh, please don't find that. Find people that will push you to grow and push you to be motivated. That's, I think, the strongest advice I will have for anybody, and the biggest coping strategy: heal first.
That is so amazing. That is so. I wanted you to give that word just alone, because it's so strong. And excuse me, people need to hear it. Very, very strong. There's something you said that is so profound. And because our community, they shy away from so many truths. So seeing a therapist, some people see it as, oh my God, what will people say about me if I go see a therapist? Oh, I'm on medication. And that's why you see a lot of them, they die quietly, they die slowly. There is nothing, I said it a gazillion times, there is nothing wrong with it. You have an issue, see a therapist. They give you medication, you take it, then they give you activities that you can start doing, and eventually you come of it. It's not something that is going to be permanent. But most times, because of what will people say about me, they don't do it. And it's very, very wrong. So I thank you so much. Thank you so much. For those of you that have been watching, thank you guys so much. So for the NGO, if you want to donate to the NGO, this is how. But I think, let me go to the comment section and post it properly. I have it there. Yes. So this is how to donate. There's a GoFundMe. that has been set up for this program. So if you want to donate to this course, it's a very good course. I encourage you to do that. It's credible. You want to donate, please don't hesitate to do that. And you can visit the website. Can you say the word again so I don't say it wrongly?
Satus Dignus. You can donate. The GoFundMe is actually for a specific project. We're trying to buy the property we're using now, but you can also donate to us Nigerian bank account. You can donate through PayPal. If you go to the website, you'll find all these details.
Absolutely. And the website is there. So please visit the website and do what God lays in your heart to do. It's very, very important for us to support the right cause. You know, I know the Real Lillian TV, we're definitely going to be part of this and support you.
Thank you very much.
So please do that. And also follow Biodu on her social handle. She does a lot of things. She comes on to talk. She has something time. I don't know, weekly. I think you do some talking weekly.
Well, for a while now, I've been a bit quiet, but yes, generally I do a lot on social media.
She's on Facebook. Follow her on Facebook as Biodu Bangboye, and also on Instagram. She's there. This is her handle. Please make sure that you go and follow her. She has a lot. And if you have questions, feel free to inbox her. I'm very sure she's very approachable. She's very nice, and I'm sure she's going to respond back to you to give you an answer to your question. Don't hesitate to do that. So before we go, I want to ask you just one word to describe yourself. What would you say?
Joy. Choose joy. I think I'll make it 2 words. Choose joy. And I like the fact that I put the choose because it's a choice.
Yes.
I always say there are 2 ways to handle even a difficult situation. Handle it in self-pity, and you can choose to handle it with joy.
Somebody just reminded us something here you didn't tell us about, that you are an author. Tell us a little bit about the book. Tell us, and you didn't tell me about the book.
I'm so sorry.
Tell us.
It's my editor. She's my editor there.
Oh, that is good.
Yes, on my page, you will see that there is a book called The Niche, Volume 2. I'm part of a group of women, 10 women we are, that have shorts that have written our stories in that book. So it's available on Amazon.
Can you spell it for me? The Niche?
The Niche, Niche, yes, okay. Volume 2.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us about it.
Yes, this particular, each volume talks about a specific thing. And in this volume, we talk about our experiences with culture and religion in like dealing with life, kind of.
Wow. So the niche, if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, I think I'm still going to put a link on my page. The link, The Niche Volume 2 is on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon, yes.
It's on Amazon, yes. So order your copy today and read. You know, reading is very, very good. When you read.
We are doing a launching for it on April 22nd. So that's on Saturday next week.
If you want my show,
yes, please. Yes, I think so. I'll let you have all the details. Yes,
that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Interesting video. I think many young people will be interested in this news. Yes, thank you so much. So I would like to read the Volume 1 and Volume 2 too, because it's very good to read. When you read, it helps your mind. Knowledge is power. I think I'll just summarize it like that. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Get this book.
Thank you for having me.
Get this book, guys. Volume 1 was a bestseller. Definitely, you guys should go get the book. The Niche is right there on Amazon. Go get it. What can I say? Thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time. I don't take it for granted. And next Saturday, the 22nd, they're launching the Volume 2 officially. Yes. So the Real Lillian TV will try to connect so that we can bring people more information. Thank you so much. Awesome. Everyone watching us from wherever you're watching us, I want to say thank you so much. We have another guest coming up in the afternoon on our show. Yes, and we have this show every Saturday morning like this. So don't fail to tune in to continue to join us. God bless you all. Thank you till I see you guys in another video. Bye-bye now, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.